Hello, Viva la Renaissance. I'm just checking in with you right before Labor Day weekend to bring you this little missive from the foothills of the Sierra Mountains in Northern California in my little corner, which has not burned down yet, thankfully, but it has been a trial with all the smoke from all the nearby fires. And whew, yeah, man. There's nothing better for practicing your Zen ninja skills than living in constant fear that everything you own could burn down. So that's the upside, is that I'm having a lot of opportunities to practice gratitude, presence, and just staying calm so that I can get on with my life. And I'm here taking a special interest in my dog friends. Lately, I've been dog sitting and found a stray dog that escaped from a neighbor and got to meet the neighbor because I took the dog in, and it was like a whole journey. And you know, all these people moving here from the Bay with lots of money, buying up all these houses, this crazy land grab going on out here, and all the rentals are being ripped out from under everybody, and people are flipping their houses real fast for lots and lots of money. And many artists around me are now also going into RVs and things, as I have been. So, you know, I guess I'm sending this because that's not cool with me. And I want us to do something about it. I'm real tired of this story of the people with the money deciding all the things for everybody and just not being able to have any security, you know? But despite that, I've been moving forward with my space and have a real exciting announcement, which I'll let you listen to in my conversation. I was out watering the marijuana plants on a new place I'm working at on Sunday, and I had the timer on because I have to water them for 3 minutes. So every 3 minutes the timer would go off, and then it would cut off my recording. So I had to edit it with all these like stops, and I think a couple times I was talking and lost it. So if there seems like gaps in the conversation or things like that, that's what was going on. But I had such a spontaneous urge to talk to you all, I just went with it. So we're calling this Field Notes. This is your end of summer reality check and inspiration moment from me. I am thinking about you all a lot. I hope you enjoy it, and have a great Labor Day weekend. Good morning, gang. It is Sunday. I am watering some giant cannabis plants. I just thought I'd start talking to y'all. It's been so long, and it's like hard sometimes to restart the conversation because it's like so much to say, and I've been struggling so much, as I know we all have. So I'm kind of like forcing myself to just talk about my own life and problems to share with you guys, because it does make me feel a little better, just to hear other people's stories. So I'm sharing a little bit of mine right now. It's Sunday. It's very smoky from the wildfires this summer. It's very, very hot. Also, I don't usually work on Sundays, but with the fires and everything going on, everything is topsy-turvy, and the world is just, it's very hard to find the flow, any groove. Things are just ridiculously hard for absolutely no good reason. Or maybe there's a good reason. Maybe I just don't know it yet. But, yeah. It's just an interesting time. I think since we last spoke, there's been some changes in my life. I left the legal marijuana farm where I was after a big falling out with the owner's brother, actually. And, this just kind of goes back to my battle with the too much materialism, Like, my rules are just totally different that I live by, like looking out for everybody, looking out for the whole property, the whole land, all of the humans, all the animals, making it my problem to do that. And that's just at odds with a mentality that is only fixated on making money. I can't get stuck in those places, like when people don't want my gifts or my best qualities, like my strengths. if I can't be growing and flexing those muscles of my best contribution to the world, it's just not worth it. I think it's important that we think about that, for how we interact with each other. It's like making community means like open, flexible systems where we're looking for other ways for other people to bring their talents and kind of adapting to accommodate what they bring, so that it's a flexible vision. So the timer is going off every 3 minutes because I have to water them with fertilizer for 3 minutes each. So anyway, I left that property, and I had been living there as well. So I was kind of suddenly displaced, and the Mini Winnie is in no shape to be living off grid just yet. So there's like a lot to do, and then it's just been kind of crazy. I was displaced, and I've got a temporary situation now, and I'm helping out on farm that is not legal. And it's an interesting time because in Nevada County is actually, I'm just going to tell you guys this little bit of history because I think it's really important to preserve the culture of places. One thing that I really hate with gentrification is just the destruction of the organic culture that grew up there. That's what wants to grow there. And then when people kick everybody out, sell their houses, and people who have multiple homes start buying them up, the people that are displaced are the ones that built the culture, usually. So there's a lot of that going around everywhere, I know. And I'm just, that I've been through gentrification in so many places. It really makes me sick to my stomach. Anyway, I'm just going to describe a little bit about the loss of culture I'm noticing right now, which comes through the cannabis industry. It looks like it could become federally legal, which would mean all of a sudden the government has a stake in it too. So, and we know how that goes. We know everyone's going to be pushed out, and it's going to be the Philip Morrises and the corporations. It's going to be impossible for anyone that's not a giant corporation or millionaire to do anything in this industry, which is a huge loss. So a couple weeks ago, there was a vote, I guess whatever the governing body is in Nevada County that legislates the marijuana business here. They had a vote about the use of drones to crack down on illegal growers. And illegal growing has been going on here a very long time. Nevada County is the second largest marijuana producer, which means that they, when you look at it, I looked at a really cool map once, like in an atlas of California and how it's laid out agriculturally and which things grow in which regions. Everything has its place where it wants to grow. Citrus likes it without the cold winters, whereas some of the fruit trees need a cold winter. Like some of the orchards, the last place I was working, all the apricot trees died because there wasn't enough of a proper winter. So the plants have to grow where they want to grow. And so this region has historically been one that's beneficial. And apparently the use of drones has been in effect in Humboldt County for a while, and it drove a lot of the illegal growers indoors. I'm all about resiliency and doing it anyway because it does need to be moving forward. I mean, California, these hippies are the ones that really pioneered the legal marijuana thing, and I'm not saying there weren't hippies everywhere doing it, because there were, but yeah, they worked hard for even our basic understanding of the uses of marijuana therapeutically. And when growers are forced indoors, it's a huge drain on resources because it's all power. It's water and electricity for all the grow lights. And then the plants aren't getting the sun. And then they're not putting the carbon dioxide out. So it's just like a huge waste of plant resources and power. And then here we are in these wildfires, most of them being started by the power lines, and it's just being so taxed, and it's so hot, and everybody's air conditions are on. And then we have all the, it's like if you were gonna then move all these outdoor grow areas indoors, it's like, then what? So, and then in addition to that, I mean, I was very surprised that they approved it here in Nevada County, because I understand they're trying to encourage the legal growers. However, it's just set up for people that have money, and that's it. You have to have 5 acres. So I know a story of someone who had 4.5 acres, not even able to apply to be legal, and has been growing for 20 years. So now with the drones, the options are, just live in the constant fear of a drone coming by, and the chance that the police could confiscate your property, maybe jail time, maybe just, of course, thousands and thousands of dollars of fines. So it's like, live with that constant threat and do it anyway, give up entirely, or move indoors. A lot of people are being faced with this right now here around me, and it's a lot of artists that are supporting themselves also on this marijuana business. And it's just a plant also, you guys. You know what I mean? It's like, this is kind of ridiculous that we aren't allowed to grow this plant very much. Well, we get our 6 plants, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, it's just heavy around here for lots of people who are contemplating the future and what they're doing with their lives. And also they got good at it, which is just unfortunate. But, some people I know are starting to fly out to Oklahoma and consult on places, because people in California, they've perfected this. They know how to do it really well, so they can go other places. But it's like, who doesn't want to just work at home? This is all just crazy, and a waste of resources and talent and human and plant potential. So that's been going on in the midst of me building my stage at the studio, which has gone great. It's really, it's like still sinking in. I've just been so starved for so long for return to myself. It's like I'm not there yet. It's not like I've been doing big shows or anything on it, but it's like literally just standing on it, I cry a little bit. It's like, okay, there I am, starting to find myself again after a very long time, because you guys know it's not just COVID. It started back in 2017 when I was trying to stem the tide of all this fake wokeness destroying the culture and these subcultures and underground scenes, which functioned in a much more layered way than the youngsters coming in really grasped. So I think it was very easy for them to just be very destructive and careless with it, where it's not that way for me. I really felt like I needed to defend it. And the wildfires are adding this huge layer of drama. It's just the sky, it's like everything's hazy. There were a couple mornings I woke up and my hair smelled like I'd been by a campfire, but really I'd just been outside. My friends who had offered, that really, I've been begging for people to help me, do things this whole time, and people are really not available. We know this, and that's been progressively worse, and everyone's doubled down on, their own thing, doing their own thing, and I get it, but we just have to start making all of it our problem. When it gets this bad and it's this hot, it's like I like to leave water out for the animals. I am very aware that, when I can't sleep because it's not cooling off, it's not getting below 80 until like 9 or 10 at night, and you can't sleep very well. So that means the animals aren't sleeping, and the plants are stressed, and everybody's just kind of like, ah! But I feel like I feel it all. And I do what I can to make it a little easier. I carry dog treats with me constantly because the dogs are all on edge. And all the little things that I can do, I do. Because I think once you get just a bigger perspective, you really see that how much we are integrated. And it feels good to help others. So that gives me a little bit of lift when I can do that too. And so my friends who have 2 kids they arranged to come down here, 2 young kids too. and one of them with Down syndrome. So I don't want to hear a bunch of excuses about why you guys can't help. Because we built that stage with those kids running around the whole time. And we got it done. It was amazing. And I had a third friend come, and so she was very helpful. She was kind of on kid patrol and work in the kitchen, keeping everybody well fed and healthy. And yeah, it just somehow all worked. But of course, we thought it was going to be a weekend project. And then it turned into basically almost a week. And then, they were from Tahoe. So the smoke situation in Tahoe just went crazy. I mean, we've been in the 100 range, like high 100, high 100 range of whatever the smoke index is. And Tahoe's been in like the 500 range, suggesting evacuations and stuff. So they sort of got stuck with me longer. Of course, I didn't mind, because then by that point, we had gotten in the flow. The kids loved the place. They had all their favorite things to do, like swinging on the trapeze and playing with the hula hoops and doing all the stuff. So everyone found our new rhythm, and they worked it out. They're finally just going back. They had tried to take a little vacation, and things are just going awry, like places are closed, things are getting lost, it's just... cars are overheating, the heat's ridiculous, the smoke's ridiculous. Just trying to do anything is just a comedy of errors, pretty much. And everyone's brittle. I just feel very brittle. So each little setback just feels like, oh my God, another thing. But I'm trying really hard to just focus on the passion. I really just feel that that's the way. Writing this morning in my journal, I was like, I feel, I can imagine very easily how the earth must feel. All the neglect from people being addicted to technology, and all the misunderstanding, and all the passivity, the awareness, but then lack of action. And because it's like it is an over reliance on science and for other things to figure it out, when it's like it's a re-enchantment of your immediate surroundings, and it goes out from there. We re-engage with nature, and it comes back to life. And I've felt this way. Like I feel so, I've been so lonely these years, partly because no one in my former community continued to speak to me after I was canceled. I lost everything I had, all the support system I had before. And then now with COVID, people are dropping out. People I love have cancer, and they have to go deal with it. It's like every loss of an active person in my life is very crucial at this point. I feel that loss, and I don't have the encouragement. I don't have someone to witness me and to help keep me on track and be like, yes, that way, you're going the right way. Yes, do this one. Yeah, that sounds exciting. When they light up, I go a little bit in that direction. I'm like, okay, oh, you like this? All right, yeah, let's do that. Because I like that too. And with the earth, I just feel like the neglect is what people aren't understanding. It's not just abuse, because we are abusing through ignorance, absolutely. Ignorance and greed, and just this idea of me and mine, and like whatever. You guys know how I feel about it. But I just really felt the pain of the planet. I've witnessed myself go from despondent to raging against it, to completely depressed about it, to trying to be clever about it, to that whole cycle of like acceptance. Okay, this is how it is. I'm going to try to survive on this amount of interaction from people. And it's not enough, because I've experienced full vivacity before in my life, full connection. It's like, so I know there's so much more. I'm a living organism that thrives on all of that. And so I'm only a fraction of myself. I can only access a very shallow layer of all my gifts, and it's very annoying because they are meant to be shared. It's like I feel like I'm wasting. It's like fruit dying on the vine. Everything wants to be enjoyed. Everything wants to be encouraged into its full blossoming. Every single thing on this planet. So make it your problem to help. We are here to assist each other. Everything from the small to the big. And it's not a codependent helping. This is not I'll do it for you. I'm going to protect you. This is not like, what animals need is coddling. It's not. Animals need structure and discipline and boundaries and rules that are flexible. that encourage their growth, that keep them on the rails. You know, it's like there's easier ways to do it and harder ways to do it. And I just want things to be fun. These are my main, like, it's like, I'm really been thinking about my life philosophy, and I think I can distill it down to this. It's like, if I had any life rules, it's follow the fun. And I mean, follow in the sense, follow it with your inspiration so that you're always making it. Like, you are actualizing fun and participating and focusing on what is pleasurable and enjoyable and brings a sense of play, curiosity, and wonder. The second rule is just don't be a dick. It's that simple. So anyway, I was commiserating with the planet today because I was like, yeah, I've been going through a rage phase where I've been raging against it because I'm like, well, nothing's working, so I might as well just like let my anger out. And, you know, I'm not like abusing people. However, you know, I would say I'm poking people a little harder than I would normally. And you know, and then I do apologize for that. But also, it's like what we're doing isn't working. So I don't know how to snap people out of it. I don't know. That's not even a fully formed thought. But I will just say that I don't feel like what we're doing is working, as evidenced by lack of flow, synchronicity, connection, and just how goddamn hard everything is for no reason. Just little things are just difficult, and I can't even, it's like, oh my God, it's maddening. And I feel like other people are experiencing this a lot too. So just mentioning it, I am getting back to my podcast, and, you know, I didn't focus on monetizing it for a long time because I wanted to be certain I believed in it, that I could do it, and that the quality was good. So I just kind of needed to focus on what I was doing amidst trying to survive, which is really hard. I'm so tired of artists having to live like outlaws because of the laws. And because people don't understand what artists do, and no one's protecting our spaces to do it and encouraging that. This is the soil our consciousness grows in. Needs a lot of feeding and tending with the right kind of ingredients, just like I'm doing now with these plants. Giving them a big slushy mix of fish guts and all bat poop and all kinds of stuff. So, because everything's useful and everything has a place, even their poop. I need money most of all, as we all do. But I also need a lot of collaborators, the right kind of collaborators, the best that I can get. And I need to know that people are alive. I need some people to start joining me in this renaissance we're having. And it's not, I see people like waiting. Everyone's waiting till they get on more stable footing. They're like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that when I get to this place. And I just don't think that place is coming. And also, like, the way that I think the planet works and the way that we'll get some of these new ways of being back, because I do think us, you know, it's even been in my lifetime. We all had it when we were kids, you know, this real connection. We could hear the plants, the animals, spirits, things talking to us. You know, that is still available. And everyone, I think, thinks that it was like a thing of youth or something, but it's not. It's still all there, waiting to be interacted with, and it's been really neglected. So things are cranky and a mess, and it's hard to sort out. And then I see people waiting to get back to their art until X, Y, or Z happens, and I'm like, I don't think we're gonna get all of us together unless we really start pursuing our passion, because that's the energy. It's an energy that we put out into the world when we are following our dreams and passionate and in love with life and excited and full of anticipation and joy and chasing fun. And not in a reckless way, like I'm gonna go fuck off and go snowboarding. You know, it's like I'm trying to build a theater. Theater is work. That is hard work. You know, I'm building it to do cabaret shows also. A lot of work goes into that. It's fun. And I like the kind of work where, you know, it's no real separation between the play and the work. But I'm not there yet. But I'm also not waiting. I'm doing a little bit every single day. I am keeping it alive. It's like those of you with kids, a lot of you guys are like waiting. Oh, I'm going to wait till the kids are grown, or I'm going to wait, or mom gets to do it and dad's going to stay home and take care of things. It's like, this is a lie. That's an illusion. Every single person needs to be following their dreams and stoking what they love to shift the energy. And whether that's 10 minutes, you start, like I've been trying to get back to training, and it's been very hard because I'm just so unsettled. My security is just so tenuous all the time. So it's very hard for me to get to prioritize, physical training. So I've just been doing the minimum, which to me is doing a handstand, a back bend, and a split. And I don't even set hard rules for myself because I know that I'm really in a tender space. So I'm like, okay, just do it more days a week than you don't do it. Any time of day. Get warmed up enough to do a handstand, a back bend, and a split. Like, I'll take anything. You don't even have to do sets of them, not even multiples, just one. That's all you can do. So, you set these like little incremental, like, okay, I'm going to play guitar for 5 minutes or whatever your thing is. And then if I can carve out 5 minutes, maybe I can carve out 10. And then if that feels good, then you keep growing it and you just keep showing up for yourself. And literally you're tending a fire of passion and love that radiates out into the world. Like, everyone needs that to get out of this. One other reason I was really surprised they approved the use of drones here is just because of the infringement on everyone's freedom. I mean, that is really just leaning into this surveillance technocracy that I don't know why people aren't resisting more. I'm terrified about it. I mean, cops with drones able to take away people's homes for growing plants. I mean, this just sounds like madness to me. But so I was very surprised, just the infringement on privacy and the fact that those drones will be flying over everyone's property. Not that they aren't already, because of course they are, and of course they know everybody that's growing everything anyway. It's not like it's a secret, but this gives them the authorization to do something about it. It's, to me, super frightening just on principle. I just want more for us. If I'm putting that energy out, I'm receiving it from other things. And giving it, and receiving, and giving, and receiving, and all these layers of it. And we're all intertwined. And I don't know, it's like that's the maddening thing to me about this whole argument about science. It's like the science has become the materialist. It's like that's just one way of looking at the world, guys. And I'm not saying science isn't valid and doesn't have something to say, but it has a fundamental flaw, which is it doesn't acknowledge the whole human organism, the fact that we are a part of the earth. Like, this is a reaction. Like I was saying earlier, I see why the earth would be reacting like this. It is dying. She knows what it feels like to have full engagement and participation. She has been vitally alive before in the past, and she knows what is possible. So I can imagine, just like I am, is cycling through these periods of despair, despondency, rebellion, rage. Just what is it going to take? I feel that way. I'm like, this isn't working. I'm going to do this, and then push in a different direction, and nothing's changing because people are paralyzed. And this started, in my world, it started with the whole cancel culture movement, which was incredibly destructive and ruined a lot of good people's work, including my own. Even though I recognize that we're trying to get to the same place, I have vastly different methods, but there is a complete intolerance of any other way of seeing or being. For a very long time, it's so narrow-minded, and it's so spiritually immature, and it's boring. And so it forces me to stay in this confined, restricted state where I've known full vibrancy before. I can't get to it, can't access it, can't find the people that can help me even keep it alive in myself. And so I die a little bit, I shrink, and I feel myself becoming brittle, and I hate it, and then I have to just rage against it. do something, because it's going to kill me one way or the other. Either through the neglect or, I guess, the abuse. People are focused too much on the abuse that we're doing to the planet, which is absolutely true. But the way that we could counteract all the abuse of all these corporations and Roundup and all the satellites and all this stuff is by dealing with the neglect. That's on us. That's individual. So it happens in a million ways, and I just can't do it alone, you know? I'm feeling so fragile and delicate myself, and it's like every little inch closer I get to being able to do what I do, which is like perform and make art, I feel a little bit more life returning, but it's too slow. And so I don't have and because I'm struggling so much with my security, if I could get up on my feet, you know, my powers would be exponential. It's like the amount of struggle that I have just to survive in this damn country is ridiculous. And then even when I have an RV and could just be living simply on the land, I still have to hide and live like an outlaw because it's not legal. You know, it's just these crazy things. It's like, just make things easier on people. Might be one thing we could do. Another thing we could do is just to start making things our problem. I'm at this farm partly not because I was really looking for work. I had a little bit of money and I could have coasted by a little tiny bit, but I was like, he needed help. I was like, I'm going to help. I know how to help. I've been doing this work. I need, of course, always need money, you know, but I almost was like, I don't know, I'm going to just focus on my stage and I'm just going to focus on my stuff right now. And I was like, no, I have to do a little bit for everybody. Anything within my reach that I can assist with and I have the bandwidth for, and especially if I have the skills and experience with, it's my responsibility to be helpful to my neighbors, to the animals, to the plants. Give them some love. I see a lot of the dogs just around the studio that's out in the country, so dogs go out and just wander sometimes, and then they'll go back home, and you don't really even know where they come from. But I can see the wear and tear on some of the dogs. They are being neglected. Their owners are all spun out and freaked out, and it's showing on them. So I know dogs. I can see when they're not happy. And I spent a whole like $75 at the pet store, and I got all these different kinds of treats and chews toys for big dogs, small dogs, you name it. And I even keep dog biscuits just in my fanny pack all the time because there's so many dogs around. So really, I'm just like, well, I can make dogs a little happy, and they're in service to humans who are a mess right now. So that might make a little difference in the world. I guess that's the message, you know, just to make it your problem. So thank you all for listening. I want to just say thank you to my former co-producer, Burgundy Bricks, one of my dear, dear friends. She has been in a battle with cancer all this time. And you can read about it on Burgundy Arts. Burgundy, I love you so much, and I miss you so much. It's been very hard for me. You know, I was hoping she would kind of bounce back and be able to return to the podcast and all of her glorious influence in my life, you know, right away. But we know these things take time. So I am searching for a new co-producer. If you all out there have any recommendations for me of someone who can help me shape this cultural conversation that I'm trying to have, I do need assistance. I have a fountain of ideas, and I also have, you know, my own struggles with just talking again after being canceled. No joke. I struggle with it every single time I release a podcast, even after 4 years. So the paralysis of that fear, like working through that, which is so important because I know there are so many others that are also stuck in this place, and it is so destructive, so pointless, so unnecessary, and really I'm just digging hard to pull us all up out of it and get back to loving each other and to understanding our similarities and our differences with a lot more nuance and appreciation and celebration. So I'm hoping in the meantime, I have some other solo shows. I'm kind of just, you know, forming my thoughts and getting them to you when they come. and we'll get back to interviews when I can. It was actually much more enjoyable for me when I could do in-person interviews than the Zoom ones. And so we'll see what happens, but I'm kind of waiting to get this new person in the groove before I change a bunch of stuff. So, and I do have a bunch of fun offerings that I'm working on to support my work, and those will be coming out soon. I'm really excited because I've taken a long time to think about them and what I can offer you guys that I think would be of use. So all that's coming. I hope you all are staying strong out there. Don't forget what's important. Really, really find your deepest passion and just do a little bit. Do what you can. And I'll see you soon. Love you. Mean it. Bye.